Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining us for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. Today's teams are playing virtually in round one for the chance to move on in our academic challenge. Our competition welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. Joining us remotely today, the Cavaliers of Princess Anne High School, coached by Jason Tomick. Princess Anne High School is the oldest secondary high school in Virginia Beach. It's also home to an international baccalaureate program. Also with us remotely today, the Blue Devils of Fork Union Military Academy, coached by Dr. Alex Welch. Fork Union Military Academy is a private all-male college preparatory military boarding school located in Fluvanna County. Founded in 1898, Fork Union is considered one of the premier military boarding academies in the United States. With students from 7th to 12th grades, FUMA, as it's known, also hosts a one-year postgraduate program. A big welcome to all of our student players today. Great to have you with us remotely. Now, since we can't all be together here in our Richmond studio, here's how the game has changed and how we play. We will have toss-up rounds with questions directed to each team. Players will answer by raising their hand. We also have this year Virginia-based video questions from the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch. All right, good luck, teams. Let's start our first toss-up round. The first question goes to Princess Anne High School. Based on their Latin roots, there are 4 common classifications of clouds: nimbus, cumulus, stratus, and what? Trevor.
Cirrus.
Cirrus is correct. Fork Union, the title character of this classic novel of a quest for knowledge, is the Brahmin friend of Govinda. Who is this man who finds wisdom in a 1922 Hermann Hesse novel? And that would be Siddhartha. Princess Anne, name the holiday that celebrates the victory of Mexican forces over the French at the Battle of Puebla during the Mexican-Franco War of 1861 to 1867. Trevor.
Cinco de Mayo.
That is correct. Fork Union, Lusitania, Sicilia, Macedonia, and Britannia are all administrative regions of what ancient empire? Dino.
Roman?
That would be correct, yes, Roman provinces. Princess Anne. On October 13, 2021, at age 90, actor William Shatner became the oldest person to travel into space. For what TV role is Shatner best known? Trevor.
Captain Kirk on Star Trek.
That is correct. Fork Union. The amplitudes of quantum mechanical wave functions are often expressed using what kind of numbers with 2 perpendicular components, one real and one imaginary? Those would be complex numbers. Princess Anne, what is the name of the following geometric law for triangles? Sine A is to the sine of angle A, as side B is to the sine of angle B, as side C is to the sine of angle C. Austin.
Law of Sines.
The law of sines is correct. Fork Union, his cultivation of tobacco and the method of curing provided the basis of Virginia's early economy. Who was this Jamestown colonist who married Pocahontas? Jackson.
Would that be John White?
It would be John Rolfe. All right, Princess Anne, watch the screen and listen closely. Here is your Virginia-based video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
What Arlington, Virginia facility is the largest office building in the world?
Trevor.
The Pentagon.
That is correct. Fork Union, it is the most dense complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England. Name this prehistoric monument located about 2 miles west of Amesbury. Jackson.
Stonehenge?
That is correct. Princess Anne, this term can refer to a form of cartilage in the pinna of the ear and the eustachian tubes, or to collisions that conserve kinetic energy. What term also describes rubbery substances that return to their original shapes? Trevor.
Soft tissue.
It would be elastic. Fork Union, the Quran mentions a flood. The Bible mentions one in the book of Genesis. The epic story of the king of Uruk, reportedly 2/3 God and 1/3 human, who lived around 2500 BC, also tells of a great flood. Name this king. Jackson.
Gilgamesh.
That is correct. And that buzzer means good job so far by our teams. Up next, we'll meet today's players, and then they'll take on the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Princess Anne High School with 50 points. Fork Union Military Academy team, 30 points. And we'll get back to our match just ahead, but first we want you to meet today's players. Let's start with our team from Princess Anne High School. They're the Cavaliers. Their coach is Jason Tomick. First up is Austin Zhao, who is a junior. He plays the violin and is a member of the soccer team and the NJROTC program. The team captain from Princess Anne is Isabeau Spears, who's a senior. She's president of the orchestra and creative writing clubs, enjoys drawing and playing the piano, and hopes to become a space architect. Next up is Trevor Darr, who's a sophomore, part of the Princess Anne High School's SCA Executive Council, is class treasurer, enjoys playing baseball and guitar, and hopes to pursue the field of theoretical physics. And wrapping up our team from Princess Anne, Jamison Paul, who's a senior, is a member of the school's lacrosse team, enjoys playing the guitar, cycling, and collecting vinyl records. That's our team from Princess Anne High School. Now let's meet our team from Fork Union Military Academy. They are the Blue Devils. Their coach is Dr. Alex Welch. First up is Ousmane Dieng, who is a junior from Germantown, Maryland. During his breaks from school, he likes to travel and plans to study economics, finance, and business in college. Our team captain from Fork Union is Jackson Pretis, who's a junior. He's from Charlottesville, a member of the school's cross-country and track and field teams, likes to read, write, and watch movies, would like to study either law, international relations, or political science. Next up is Dino Sierra, who is a junior from Alexandria, Virginia, enjoys reading and likes to catch up with his sleep on his free time, hopes to attend George Mason University and study business administration. And wrapping up our team from Fork Union is Inshiraba Asumadu Ado, who is a senior from Accra, Ghana, wants to study electrical engineering and work in Ghana after getting his college degree. Hobbies include anime, cooking, and weightlifting. And that is our team from Fork Union Military Academy. Good to have all of these students here playing Battle of the Brains with us today. And now they get to take on our category round. Each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they'll receive a 20-point bonus. Teams, here are today's categories from which you may choose. They are It Takes Two, Ends in X, and Inventors. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answers. Per our rules, the high-scoring team gets first choice of category. That is Princess Anne. So, Isabeau, if you can open your microphone for me and quickly talk it over with your teammates and let me know what category you would like to play.
What do we want? Inventors.
All right, you would like to play Inventors. All right, given the name of the discovery or innovation, name the inventor commonly credited with that invention. The first is the light bulb.
Thomas Edison.
Correct. Periodic table of elements.
Mendeleev.
Correct. Analytic geometry.
Euclid.
That would be Rene Descartes. Movable type.
Gutenberg.
Correct. Modern lock-stitch sewing machine.
Edison.
It would be Elias Howe. Train's sleeping car.
Pullman.
Correct. Rabies vaccine.
Pasteur.
Correct. The cotton gin.
Eli Whitney.
Correct. Frozen food.
Mills.
That would be Clarence Birdseye. And finally, the telephone.
Alexander Graham Bell.
And that is correct. Good job. You know your inventors and inventions. All right, we're going to go to Fork Union Military Academy. For their category round will either be It Takes Two or Ends in X. Jackson, if you would please unmute your mic and talk it over with your teammates, please.
It takes two.
All right, identify each of the following pairs of people or things. The first is the symbol on a pirate's flag.
Skull and crossbones.
Correct. Royals who started the golden age of exploration.
Isabel and Philip.
That is incorrect. Ferdinand and Isabella. The biblical pair, she cut off his hair, he lost his strength.
Samson and Delilah.
Correct. Kids' favorite gooey sandwich.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Correct. In Chinese philosophy, the feminine and the masculine.
Yin and yang.
Correct. Leaders of the first overland expedition to the Pacific coast and back.
Lewis and Clark.
Correct. The beginning and the end from the Greek alphabet.
Alpha and Omega.
Correct. The two opposing personalities of a Robert Louis Stevenson character.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Correct. Founders of Rome.
Romulus and Remus.
Correct. And two articles of male clothing constituting formal dress or business wear.
Suit and tie.
That is correct. Good job. Good job by both of our teams in the category round. Up next, they'll take on another toss-up round when we continue with Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Princess Anne High School with 85 points, Fork Union Military Academy, 75 points. And now it's back to Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. Again, questions are being directed team to team, alternating between them. Anyone on that team may answer by raising their hand and waiting for me to call on them. There are no point deductions for incorrect answers. Our first question in this toss-up round goes to Princess Anne. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. Anne's toy cost $1 more than her sister's. The total cost of their toys is $6. How much did Anne's toy cost? Trevor.
$3.50.
That is correct. Fork Union. The volcano on Jupiter's moon Io is named for what Greek titan who stole fire from the gods and gave it to man?
Prometheus.
That is correct. Don't forget to raise your hand. Princess Anne. It is used to study in the study of genetics, quantum mechanics, and statistics. What type of graph is used to analyze probability and characterized by intervals of equal size? Austin.
Histogram.
I think you said it correctly, but say it again for me.
Histogram.
That is correct. All right, Fork Union, please watch the screen and listen closely. Here is your Virginia-based video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
What Virginia city is named for the captain of the Susan Constant, which brought the first English settlers to Jamestown?
And that would be Newport News. Princess Anne, it is made up of calcium and other materials and is similar to bone. It's also the second hardest substance in the human body. Name this second layer of a tooth. Trevor.
We're
having a little technical problem. Can you repeat for me? Can you repeat?
Enamel.
Judge is saying no. We're looking for the answer, Denton. Fork Union. The 1794 ship, the USS Constitution, built in Boston and now moored at the Charlestown Navy Yard, is the world's oldest commissioned warship afloat. By what nickname is that ship known? Jackson.
Old Ironsides.
That is correct. Princess Anne, this man wrote screenplays for the movies You Only Live Twice and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Name this British author of James and the Giant Peach and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Trevor.
Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl.
That is correct. Roald Dahl is the answer. Fork Union, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. What is the longer side in feet of a right triangle with an area of 60 square feet, a short side 8 feet long, and a hypotenuse of 17 feet? And that would be 15 feet. Princess Anne, who was the first vice president of the United States to actually become president? Austin.
Tyler.
Can you answer again for me, please?
Tyler.
It was actually John Adams. Fork Union, it can be performed only after ruling out psychological or physical illness. Name this most controversial rite of the Catholic Church that is done by the priest only after permission is given by his bishop. And that would be exorcism. Princess Anne, developed in the 14th century at the outset of the Renaissance, the first sonnets were written in what vernacular language? Austin.
Italian.
That is correct. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round to go, and we'll have today's winner here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us for the exciting conclusion.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores as we head into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. Princess Anne High School with 125 points, Fork Union Military Academy with 95 points. And in this final toss-up round, we're now doubling the score for a correct answer, and there is no deduction for an incorrect answer, as has been the case all game long. All right, good luck, teams. The first question in this final toss-up round goes to Fork Union Military Academy. A paraplegic Marine is dispatched to the moon Pandora in what 2009 film directed by James Cameron? Inshiraba.
Avatar.
That is correct. Princess Anne, in coordinate geometry, the abscissa is the distance of a point of what vertical axis? Austin.
Y-axis.
The y-axis is correct. Fork Union, in a study conducted by the Nielsen Company and the Sony Corporation, what disaster was the most memorable moment shared by TV viewers in the last 50 years? Dino.
9/11.
That is correct. Princess Anne, in Hinduism, the chief trinity of gods is Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and what god known as the destroyer? Austin.
Shiva.
That is correct. Fork Union, in the comics and movies, what fictional town did Clark Kent grow up as a teenager before he became Superman? Jackson. Need you to unmute your mic.
Yes. Smallville.
That is correct. Princess Anne, which word derived from the Latin for before the war describes houses built prior to the U.S. Civil War? Austin.
Antebellum.
Antebellum is correct. Fork Union, in business, it's a high-pressure sales talk. In baseball, it's what a player does on the mound. In music, it's the highness or lowness of a note. What is this word that fits all of these descriptions? Usman.
Pitch.
That is correct. Princess Anne, it is the southernmost world capital. It was named after the man who defeated Napoleon at Waterloo. What is the name of this capital? Trevor.
Wellington.
That is correct. Wellington, New Zealand. Fork Union. 21st century scientists have announced that high levels of arsenic may have led to the bouts of madness in what English king who lost the American colonies in 1783? Dino.
King George.
I need you to be more specific, the judges say.
King George III.
That is correct. Princess Anne, it is the term for a real number that cannot be expressed as the quotient of two integers. Name this term for a number whose decimal expansion never terminates or repeats. Jameson.
Irrational.
That is correct. Fork Union. Their two chief gods were honored at sanctuaries at the top of the Great Pyramid in the capital of Tenochtitlan. Name this Mesoamerican people who dominated Mexico from the 14th to the 16th century. Inchiraba.
Aztec.
Correct. Princess Anne, there is no shortage of water on Earth, just a shortage of fresh water. What is the term for the process of removing salt from water? Austin.
Distillation.
I need you to repeat that for me.
Distillation.
That is incorrect. It's desalinization or desalination. Fork Union, an Arabic manuscript, is the fictional source of the story of this man obsessed with tales of knights errant and damsels in distress. Name this character known for tilting at windmills with his squire Sancho Panza in a Miguel Cervantes novel. Inchiraba.
Don Quixote.
Correct. Princess Anne, the Mason-Dixon line was a boundary line drawn between what two states? And that would be Maryland and Pennsylvania. And that buzzer is the end of our match. While our judges double-check the final score, we want to remind you how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains. To find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of the show on our YouTube page. As we continue round one of our new season of Battle of the Brains, join us next week when we virtually welcome teams from Midlothian High School of Chesterfield County and Menchville High School of Newport News. Now here's the final score of today's match, the winner going on to the next round. It was a close game all the way. Princess Anne High School ends the match with 225 points. A great job today by Austin, Isabeau, Trevor, and Jameson. Our winners with a final score of 235 points and going on to round two here on Battle of the Brains, the team from Fork Union Military Academy. Usman, Jackson, Dino, and Inchiraba. We will see you guys in round two. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains. We'll see you back here next Saturday morning. Great match, teams.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.